Oh, welcome back. I am the man on the street.
I am Pharaoh King.
And this is the mad professor still in the boot.
Po' boy from the boot.
And this is two cigars. Look at you. And this is two cigars in a blunt. Hey, thank you for coming back again. And we're back. We're back in live effect. Hope you all had a great holiday. Thanksgiving. Everybody, is back. Tim Dawg from B-Mo will not be with us tonight. He's not feeling well. So we want to send a well wishes to Tim Dawg. Hey, get better, my brother. Get better.
You better come on back.
We got to have you here, Tim.
That's right. Any of y'all want to say anything before we get started?
No. Let's run it.
Topics.
All right, then. This is a topic, man, that I want y'all to look at this video and and let me know what y'all think about it.
Taught black men to be fathers. I think we're doing a good job considering, an excellent job considering what we've been through. We were never meant to be men. We were never meant to be fathers, because if we were fathers on the plantation, it meant that our children would listen to us before they listened to the person upstairs. And the moment we had any type of control on the plantation, they sold us or killed us, because they had no room for anybody with power. So now here we are, 1865, so to speak, and they emancipate us, and now we're supposed to be fathers. Well, who taught us how to be fathers? From cradle to the grave, we're never fathers. We had no example of what a father was. The best that we had was Fiddler. Kunta Kinte had Fiddler. That was the best he had for a father. Now we're just coming up out of what Bob Marley calls our sleepless slumber. And now we're coming to realize what a father really is. Any male can impregnate a woman, but only a man can be a father. Who is like that in our lives? So we're trying to catch up on no excuses. Nature don't know no excuses, but there are reasons. In understanding the reasons, we then can move towards solving the challenge that we have and just understand what a man is. A man realizes that responsibility is two words, not one. It's the response to your abilities. It's not responsibility. It's your response to your abilities. And I think little by little, step by step, we're coming up out of this sleepless slumber.
I thought that this would be a great topic that's to start off with, because we all fathers, we all black men, and the dynamic of what he's saying, it hit home with me. So I'm gonna stop the professor. What you think about that video?
In a lot of ways, it goes to society itself, not just black society, but society in general. There aren't a lot of fathers around, white, black, Hispanic, and especially in the black community, there's not a lot of fathers. There are more. Actually, there's more fathers in the black community than a lot of people want to admit to. And it's just that. It's like I said a couple weeks ago, I think it was, black fathers don't get the pub and the press that every other father does for being a father. Because like I grew up in a home without a father, but I had a lot of influences around me, my mom, my aunt, her mother, their mother, my grandmother. But we did have father influences around us who we were able to see, how to treat a kid, how to raise a kid, and how to be a man. So, it's like I said a week ago, last week, earlier this week, rather. It does take a village, and a kid will burn the village down if he's not getting what he needs from that village to get the warmth of that village.
That's true. What you got to say about it, Pharaoh?
I would say that I would say this is something that's coming back into time, because we were fathers before the slave trade and stuff. All that stuff was being taught. All that education, all the engineering and all that stuff was being taught. It was something that was stripped of communities or cultures. So being able to have that financial freedom and educational freedom that our ancestors fought for, I would say that those of us who want to be fathers are going to make sure that happens. You don't want to fall back into or get a recession or seeing the people like in the 70s and 80s when we lost and when we stripped of our being in the households with our families.
Yeah.
So
I hear you.
I would say today we're pretty much removed from that. It's just trying to get everybody educated on making sure that you take care of yours.
I got you. Po' boy from the boot. What you got to say?
like you were saying, it's all about wanting to be there. Because just because you can put sperm in, don't mean you're gonna be a father. And like the mad professor was saying, we had male role models around us that showed us, even though we didn't have fathers, we still had you know, we still saw something. And then we learn what to do, we learn what we don't want to do and what we could do better as fathers.
Mhm.
So in some instances, not having a father almost helps you in a sense, because it makes you want to be a better father than what you didn't have. So sometimes it because I met people who've had dads and their stories. I'm like, damn, I'm glad I didn't have a daddy. You know, because some of their stories are like,
Yeah.
you know, like for me,
Hey.
for instance, I just
Yeah.
met my father a couple of years ago.
Mhm.
And like all my other brothers, he was in their lives, but he
Mhm.
really wasn't in their lives. He was, you know, he was around, but he wasn't in their lives.
Mm.
So that I can see that took a toll on some of them.
Yeah.
And for me, he was never there, so it really didn't take a toll on me as much as it would for them, because I knew who he was. I knew, you know, he knew about me and everything else, but it's just he wasn't there. So to me, it was non-existent. You know what I
Kind of
mean?
like no expectation.
Yeah. So they were
Yeah.
expecting a father, seeing other
Mhm.
people with their father, but not getting that.
Mhm.
So
And
you know, it's
you
a
know,
double-edged sword.
my
You
son
know.
said the same thing. He saw fathers with kids, but they weren't with him, and
Mhm.
it messed the kids up because he's like, Dad, I'm glad we talk. Me and my oldest talk all the time. He's like, Dad, I'm glad you was there for us, because I've seen what happens if Dad's there but not there,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
like they are messed up in the head. It's almost like they had nothing there even when their dad was there, and they would rather
Mhm.
him have not been there so that they didn't have any expectation of, hey, my dad here, this is about to happen, and when it don't happen, you
Yeah.
you fall into this cycle over and over and over where the disappointment overcomes the love you have for that person.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's what I told one of my good friends who was having issues with his baby's mother. I'm like, dude, you can be a dad without being with her. You just make sure you're a dad.
Mhm.
Hey, yeah, I understand what y'all saying, but is there a difference between being a dad and a father?
Yes.
Nah. Well,
Okay.
To me, there
I
is,
can say being a
because
parent.
I
I can say
always
being a
had, I
parent.
always knew my father, but he was never a dad to
That's
me.
what's up.
Mm.
He
That's
was
what's up.
never my dad. He was my father. He was never my dad, because
I'm
he
glad to
would
hear that.
Okay.
I'm 50 years old. We had, my sister and I had shoot, I want to say four as adults, and as people, as children who would know what's going on, not older than toddlers. We had maybe 4 or 5 interactions with him before he died.
Mm.
And I tell people all the time, he died. I didn't know. I had to have my cousin tell me he had died, because I didn't know, and we
Mm.
didn't know him. So we learned who he was at his funeral.
Mm.
Wow.
We didn't know him.
Wow.
Mm.
That's
And
tough.
and like I said, there's a complete difference between a dad and a father. Dad is there. Like my daughter, and if she needs something, she called me, "Hey, Dad, I'm here."
Got it.
My
I see what
son's the
you're saying.
same thing.
I can dig
Mm.
that.
Yeah, because you don't call your dad, you don't go around father. Father.
Exactly.
That's just like what's on
That's in the
paper
movies.
is who's the
That's in the
Yeah.
movie.
father, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But dad is
Okay.
dad. Like when motherfuckers say dad,
Got you.
you like that's they, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
What you got to say about it, Pharaoh? You go ahead, explain
No,
explain
I'm
your side of
listening.
it.
No, I'm listening to these two, and it makes a difference. So I never really saw it that way. My thing was, I felt like I was both, dad and father, but uh, I could see where the discrepancy in the two words, because you call somebody a father, hey, that's my father, but not saying that I'm gonna call this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dad has an affectionate connotation to it.
Yeah. I like that. I like the way you explain it. I can dig that.
Yeah, and I totally agree. Yeah, because
Yeah.
like they say, like my man said, anybody could put anybody could lay down with somebody and father a child, but to be a dad, to be in that child's life through the good and the bad, it takes a certain type of man, not just a black man, but just a certain type of man. And I come to realize that, growing up the way I grew up, like y'all say, I really didn't know my father as well, but I tried to be better than the person that I didn't know. Not saying that, not trying to put him down or anything like that, because I don't know his situation or what he was going through. Maybe he didn't have somebody in his life, but you try to be better than the person before, or like the professor said, and just like Po Boy said, I had men in my life that I could emulate, that I want to be like, like my Uncle Robert, my Uncle George, these guys got up every morning and got out there and made it happen. So when you see something like that, that reflects on you. And my stepfather Sam, like I said before, he was the father that I needed at the time. He made me become a man. My mother could teach me just enough, but you need that man figure in your life to actually put you over the hump. If I'm wrong, somebody tell me I'm wrong.
Oh no,
Complete agreement. Jabbo,
Nah,
my grandfather, my mom's dad. I gotta thank Jabbo, because I'm gonna tell you now, that's probably one of the toughest men I've ever been around in my life. Was Jabbo, my grandfather, and my dad's father, John Key. Them jokers was tough, man. So, I thank them for being in my life too.
Yeah. And like I said, we're not trying to put down any fathers out there, but if you got the chance to be in your child's life, this is the chance to do it, because times are flying by. A friend of mine, he just lost his father the other day. I want to send my condolence attention. My cable toe, my brother from another mother, he lost his father, man. I was just with him Saturday. We went out to eat in Atlanta, and then when he got back the next day, he texted me and said, "Hey, my father just died." So fathers, we are important. So, not trying to say that you have issues with your baby mama or whoever, be in your child's life. You don't have to be in the female's life, but you have to be in your child's life.
Exactly.
So if anybody else want to expound on that, go right ahead.
No, but
let me tell another quick story. Like I said, I just got in contact with my dad 2 years ago. Now, but this wasn't the first time we talked. I think I might have been in my mid-20s, because this chick I knew, she was going to school in New Orleans, and she called me. She said, "There's this guy on the bus look just like you." I was like, "Well, that's probably my daddy." And so, a couple of weeks go by, she called me and she like, "I saw him and I went and asked him, and he kind of cursed me out." I was like, "Okay," but eventually he went back, apologized, got my number, and we talked. And that first time we talked,
So where's your dad?
probably said maybe 15 words to each other in like 10 minutes of just sitting on the phone. So, like I said, this is now been almost 20 years have gone by. And when we talked, like when he actually came here to my house and we sat down and talked, and I was more, being a father and understanding that shit happens, I was more willing and accepting of listening to him, tell me, why he wasn't there. And when I was in my 20s, I wasn't ready to hear that. I wasn't ready to have that conversation, because I wasn't a father understanding the sacrifices that you make for your children. And some people aren't man enough to make those sacrifices at that time in their life. And he explained that to me, and I accepted that, because I understand that being a dad is hard as hell when you're there all the time. It ain't, that shit ain't easy.
Yeah.
So
it's not the Cosby Show. It's not what you see on the Cosby. It's not the Cosby Show. We live in a reality where these type of situations, where that you wake up in the morning, you get up there. Sometimes you be dog tired. Sometimes you don't feel like going to work, but you got other people depending on you, and you force yourself to get out there.
That's what I tell my sons. Being a dad means you go work a job you don't want to work, to make sure that everybody has what they need.
Want to do.
Yeah.
King, what happened on Thanksgiving? Somebody said.
I don't want to talk about that
So-
football
so-
game. Let's keep it moving.
Well, yeah, let's keep it moving. And the reason why I brought that up because it's something that happened over the weekend. You know, a lot of people were talking about T.I. and his son and their situation that they have. If you didn't watch, if you didn't get the chance to see,
man,
I did.
Man, spin that.
Yeah. Here come the video. I chopped it up a little bit, so it was kind of long. So I'm trying to keep it short, but just check it out. What happened between T.I. and his son?
To make him look better, he said he know not to. Silver spoon, I ain't never ate with that day a day in my life.
Nigga, you did
I'm
have
out.
a silver spoon.
Look, Tip used to have to come to my grandma's house because I'm getting in the
You
fight.
cried like a baby to go to your grandmama's house.
Every day.
You used to hold your breath
Every
and
day.
throw tantrums to go over there.
Neighborhood. I don't want to be in these gates. I want to be outside in the neighborhood. That's why I want to be over there. But they ain't gonna tell you everything like that. They trying to hide it.
Ain't nobody hiding
Sugarcoat it. He capping. He capping. Hey. He know I stand on business. He know that. Can't no nigga ever pull my car ever in life. I stand on business. You drop me somewhere, I stand on business. You drop me in your hood, I stand on
I
business.
don't feel like you stand on business.
Yeah. I've been stood on business. I've been stood on business. You want to hide it for the world, I'm going to put it out there for them to see.
Hey, man,
I want to put up nowhere. You ain't had me put up nowhere. Like, you ain't had me behind the mansion. I was outside doing what I wanted to do. Like, what?
You was behind that till you cried.
No, ain't got too much to drink. Done drunk too much. Drunk too much. Let's go. Get mad because we say the South ain't the suburbs. Then he want to talk about some other like this being sick. This being sick. No, I'm being real. You lying. You lying. You up here flagging. You're capping. You capping. You capping. You capping. You capping. You capping. You capping. I know. I know you. You capping. I know you. I know you. I know you. I know you.
ain't no mystery about here.
I know you though. I know you though. I know you though. I know you. What's wrong with y'all? Why y'all doing that to me? Y'all know me. You know I stand on business. You know I stand on business. Why you even letting somebody play with me like that? Why you letting somebody play with me like that? Why you letting him play with me like that? Why you letting him play with me like that? No, ain't no joking. Ain't no joking. What do you mean?
You are embarrassing yourself. You embarrassing yourself. You are embarrassing yourself. You are embarrassing yourself.
Man, what is you talking about? Get off me, man, get off me,
Well, you can't do nothing with me. Ain't shit you can do with me.
And that situation happened on live, and so I'm gonna go with Pharaoh first. Pharaoh, what you got to say about that?
I ain't got to worry about nothing like that. I don't understand. I don't understand it. Stand on business. What business we talking about? I have no idea. You know, he had opportunity.
Streets.
Yeah, but I mean, he had opportunity to live a better
Got
life.
them
He
keys.
chose to go back to his grandma so he could be on the pacifier till he's 12 years old and get them chiclets in his mouth. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. And then you talking to your dad like that. Like, how are you talking to your father like that? Because I know damn well he did not grow up poor, even though he lived with his grandma. So I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. Like, why are you trying to be something you're not? We all know you ain't who you think you are. And if I was T.I., I guarantee you that phone would have been in his hand. He'd be bloody. I would have whipped the shit out of him. Hey, we say like how T.I. said, point blank, period.
You stupid man. Poor boy, what you got to say?
Whipped the pure life out that boy. He would have had them
Man.
teeth like I done with him, I promise.
See, but he created that on his own problem, T.I. Because obviously he didn't put no discipline into him to start with. Because for one, why you want to stand on your business? Was probably talking about slinging or whatever. If he talking about he in the streets, that's the only other thing you be talking about.
That boy would get used. He was out there.
And what he don't realize is there's so many people out here that wish that they had a goddamn bronze spoon that they was born with. You know what I'm saying? You ain't had to do shit. All that chain jewelry he got on, he ain't had to do shit for that. But not die. That's it. So yeah, that shit's just ridiculous. I don't even know.
Yeah,
It starts with the parents.
I'm speechless, man.
Where was the village?
But this is the thing
Burning
too.
down the
He has
village.
Ti has how many kids? It's like 3 or 4, right?
6 or 7. Yeah, he got
Yeah.
a couple. He got
You got a couple of them.
about
I mean,
5 or
with
6 of them.
Tiny, I don't know about anybody else with it, but the other kids seem to be doing okay. You telling me the
Yeah,
siblings
money
didn't have
is
any
raising the
goal
kids.
anyway? You know, had anything to say to him like, "Hey, man, what you doing?" You know, like bring him back in, reel him back in. I don't know.
Got you. What you got to say about
They
the
got 8
professor?
kids.
8 kids.
See
Good Lord.
my issue with this is you have a kid born of privilege who wants to go into the streets to show that he has some kind of cred, and you don't have the cred your dad had in the streets. You don't have to do the stuff
Never.
your dad was doing in the streets because you were born into privilege. Okay, so all this stuff that he's sitting up there talking, I'm about mine, bro. You ain't about nothing. Trust me, because
I
if
need
you
to know
go
what
to the
business
jungle,
he's talking about.
that's what I'm saying, dude. Go to the real jungle, because I'm more than certain. Yeah, you went by grandma's house, but I bet grandma's house wasn't as bad as the house daddy was raised in.
Mm.
So I don't want to hear the crap. And it's like it's just like with Kirk Franklin and his son I think it was earlier this year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You can tell when people are born of privilege and they don't understand true struggle. The moment they get out in the street and see what struggle really is, they lose their goddamn minds. And this kid, he's just another case of it. He's telling his dad this, yeah, I'm about my business, I'm about that. Dude, you about nothing. You're absolutely about nothing. You look, I'm not gonna comment on his looks, but dude, come on now. You don't have the struggle your dad did.
Yeah.
And in fact, if you wasn't T.I.'s son, who would know you?
yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and that's it right there. What last name do you have? Whose last name
Exactly.
you have? You got his, you ain't got yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the way I look at it is like this, my son is of age, and he try to buck a little bit, and we have our confrontations here and there, but hopefully he understands that, like you say, Ken, you got my last name, I don't have yours, and it is actually real out there. When you have to get out there and live on your own, or have to support a family, or have to do this, have to do that, and defend and defend for yourself, it's a struggle out there, and and it's not just families that has money. We go through this in our household. When people, they might think that they might see you in a certain way, but it goes back to, like the professor said, I'm not your father, I'm not your dad, I'm your father at that point, because I'm going to tell you the real. I'm going to tell you what's going on. And my question I want to ask the panel is this: why do young men and women feel as though that they have to live the street life? Like he said that, I'd rather be in the street than be behind a gate. I didn't understand that. Let's go to the
Because he
professor
wanted to be
first.
in the cage.
Yeah, let's go to the professor first with that one.
Because it's about appearing to be what you're not. It's all about that thug lifestyle. It's just like with the silliness of
What
these
up?
young men wearing pants hanging down off their ass, not realizing or not realizing that's prison chic is what they like to call it, because they do that in prison because they can't wear belts. So
True.
they want kids nowadays, a lot of them, they want to be what they're not. We grew up in our generation, we grew up in the streets, we grew up doing this and doing that, and they don't have to do that. I mean, hell, how old were each of you when you forgot your first cell phone? I guarantee you wasn't a teenager.
No.
Mhm.
When you got your first car, I bet you wasn't a teenager.
You're right about that.
Especially a car that your parent bought you. You wasn't a teenager when you did it.
You're right about that.
My car was horrible.
I mean, like I said, these kids, they just want people to see them for who they're not rather than what they are. And it's gotten to the point where it's so sad. I don't like hanging around these youngsters
Hey, that's a
anymore.
good
That
one.
makes good
I like
sense.
that.
What's that? Let me put it back up.
Yeah, I like that. Hey, man, hey, I like that.
There it is. Sagging spell, backward spell. Hey, I didn't know that either.
Agreed.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah.
I like
What you got to say about a po' boy?
Man, it's because what they see on TV. TV, movies, they glamorize that stuff, and and you know.
Hey, forget you, man.
Oh, that's messed up.
Man, go ahead, Major. That's your thought up. Go ahead, finish your thought, man. Finish your thought, po boy. My bad. My damn. Hey, that's my cousin. Hey, Jaquan, man. That's my cousin, Cowboys fan. You know he's God damn, he's stupid. Go ahead, finish your thought up, po boy.
It's because they glamorize it, and everybody think that's the way, easy way to make it is being out in the streets. Shit. You know?
Yeah.
When I was in the streets, mainly I got in a lot of goddamn fights.
You can't fight.
Good things don't matter.
He got in a lot of them, though.
But like Mike Epps and all about the Benjamins.
Talk too much.
Hey, he didn't say he won, King. He said he got in a lot of fights. He didn't say that he won.
Well, he had me and my sister to back him up.
That's right, goddamn shit.
Look, we beat his ass. Nobody else could.
I got you. But finish your thought, po boy, man. Hey.
Well, you got my ribs hurt.
Go ahead, finish your thought, po boy. My bad.
I gave it to somebody else. Yeah, man. That's what it is. They want to live a lifestyle that's glamorized, not knowing the consequences and the repercussions, and not realizing that everybody that is glamorizing it, they out of that shit.
Exactly.
They left that shit. That's why they ain't doing. That's why they're not there no more. But you want to go where you want to be where they at. But hey, that's the world we live in. Followers, sheep.
Okay.
They're sheep.
Pharaoh, you going to tune in on that?
Yeah, man. So I don't know if y'all heard Shaq's interview where he had said when he was a rookie, he had a bad game. I forget who he's playing against. I forget what team he's playing against, but
he's playing the Knicks. Patrick Ewing. He's playing Patrick Ewing because he respected Patrick Ewing so much.
Right, but he was scared. So his dad called him on the phone, right? Told him, get home. And so he's at 5 a.m. He gets home. And for those who don't know about Shaq's father, he's stepfather is military. Takes him, gets in the car at 5 a.m., takes him down to the corner where a guy with his family just lost his job. He's out on the street. He said, you want to see tough? That's tough. Try being a man with your family on the street. You ain't got no job. You know what I'm saying? Those are the type things or that you need to go express with your kids and let them understand. You think you got it good until you see that. And it should open your eyes to what you can do so you can make yourself better. So with that being said, he got the guy a job. He got the guy off the street with a friend that has some apartments. And then the guy ended up doing lawn work because he had a guy that had some lawn business. 2 years later, the guy got his own lawn business cutting Shaq's yard. So just helping the person out because you have some money to be able to put back into the community. His father showed him what hard times is, and he made that guy just as successful as he was. So if we could start doing stuff like that, instead of going out here glamorizing, living in the streets when you don't have to, I think we'd be better off as the people we are.
So my question for the panel is this: what do we have to do? I know we talk about social media on our last podcast, but what do we have to do to make sure that the young women and men actually see the truth, not what they see on TV that's glamorized, but actually see the truth of the struggle, that you may go through when you become a father or you out there on your own? Let's go to the professor first.
You know what? Somebody just messaged that the children of the world today are best friends with mom and dad, and I think that's a big part of it. I mean, you can be friendly with your kids without being their friend. You can let them know that they can come to you and talk to you about anything that's going on in their lives without responding to them as a peer. Your parents are not your peers, and I used to tell my kids this all the time. I am not your friend. I'm not trying to be your friend. I'm your damn parent. I want you to come to me with issues. I want you to come and you can talk to me about anything in the world, but I'm not going to respond to you like your friend will respond to you because that's not what I am. Look at my son, Daddy. We best friends. We ain't no best friends, Negro.
Oh, he call you Daddy.
That DY.
That's what my kids call me. I ain't zaddy, nigga. I'm dad.
Nah, he said daddy. I see. I read it.
Yeah, I saw. We can read. We can read on this
Put
side.
that back up there. Put that back up there. We best
Okay.
friends, Daddy. I love
Go,
it.
go ahead, Pharaoh. What you got to say?
So I'm gonna tell you what I did. I'm gonna use myself as an example. When I used to be in my MC, and we did like orphanages, or we raised stuff for orphanages.
And thank you, Tracy. We appreciate your love.
Or we
Yes, thank you.
or I would take it like when we gave out turkeys and stuff like that to the people that really needed it. I took my kids along so they could see what people don't have and what they have.
Mm-hmm.
Then, therefore, when we went to DC, Brian, I wish you would have went with me. I would have shown where I grew up in DC. Hey, do you want to live like this? When we get to Long Beach, they see where the not so privileged people live. So my children have gotten a chance to see places that are not so well. And do you want to live here and do what these people are doing, or do you want to see, or you want to be like the people on social media or whatever? So I think that really hit home with them, because you can ask Jaden right now. He's like, nah, I ain't going back to that. I wouldn't want to be like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Alexis, please, she like her stuff too straight and clean. So, I think that's what we should do is, if you want to live like that, let me go live in it for a little bit. Let me let you.
All right, because Troy.
So
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in. Poor boy from the boot. What you got?
Okay. What was the question again?
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, good Lord, ladies and gentlemen, he's high right now. We'll come back. We'll come back to poor boy for the boot. I need you to start writing this stuff down, poor boy, so you can keep up. But before we go to
like Tim Dog said, tough love.
Yeah. Before we flip this whole strip, because we about to flip this strip here in a minute, and this is something that I want to get y'all true opinion on. I hear a lot of people when they talk about dads and fathers, but then they will say like that's not my dad, that's my stepfather. But your stepfather been in your life for forever, longer than your dad been in your life. So why is it that we have to use that connotation of some people use it, some people don't. Some people just say that's my dad. No, that's my dad. I don't give a damn when nobody said that's my dad right there. Nobody could tell me nothing different. But why do some people, when they have to use stepfather when that person been in their life for longer than their actual dad or father?
Mm-hmm.
Now let's go to Po Boy. Po Boy, you heard that right? I'm gonna get you before you forget.
Again, it's society, because they put labels on every damn thing. They label everything has a label. So if you're a dad, read these damn comments.
You laughing at my son?
Yeah, he laughing at the comments. Well, Major, thank you for tuning in, my brother. Hey, keep your dad on his toes. Keep your daddy on his toes. Y'all best friends. I know y'all best friends.
Wow. Wow.
But go ahead, Po Boy.
Like honestly, I've never had anyone to call anyone a stepdad. I've just became comfortable saying the word, calling him dad. I'm just getting comfortable saying that, because to me that's been the word that I've never had to use. I've never had a place for it. I know I've had a father. I knew his name. I knew where he was. But that word never. So for me, if you have a dad, regardless if he's biological or not, you need to appreciate that, because there's a lot of people out here that wish that they had that. Because, as a matter of fact, on my old podcast, Poetically Creative Minds, check it out, a lot of good poetry on there. This guy wrote a poem about being a stepfather to his wife's kids. Mm-hmm. And it was a beautiful poem that he wrote, because that's how much he appreciated the opportunity of being a father.
Yes.
that he embraced it that much, and the kids embraced him as well. So to me, that's just a beautiful thing when you can have somebody step up in that role, regardless.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's all I
Yeah.
have.
Pharaoh, what you got to say, Pharaoh?
I would say I've been having the privilege of not being called stepfather.
Mhm.
Ashley called me pops. She calls me dad, or just Ryan. Her husband Trey calls me pops all the time. So obviously they see something to me where they don't need to label me as a stepfather.
Mm.
So I've been privileged in that sense. So I wouldn't know, you know, what the difference would be other than I heard a couple of my co-workers they call this they had a stepfather, but they didn't have a good relationship, so that's their stepfather.
Mm.
You see what I'm
I feel
saying?
you.
Like the
So
mom
maybe
married
that's what
somebody
it
that they
is, a
didn't approve
relationship.
of. So I think the relationship aspect between them is why they were called stepfather. So that's the only thing I can.
They really want to distinguish that you are not my father.
Yeah,
But even
and
even their dad, even their father was not. They didn't have a good relationship with him either. But biologically, they knew that was the father. But the stepdad step in still wasn't any better. So he's just stepdad now. You know.
and
Mhm.
that's what I was gonna say. You notice a lot of people when they say, "Oh, this is my stepfather," I don't have to listen to him. He's
Mm.
just my stepfather.
Mm.
They're trying to separate
Mhm.
themselves from the man that is in their life or is with their mom or whatever, so that they can have that built-in excuse of he didn't see me, so he's nothing to me, not realizing that this man might be the guidance that you need.
Mm.
Yeah.
I-
Hey, read
Two
Troy's.
great
Read
comments.
Troy's
Two great
comment.
comments.
Yeah,
okay.
read Troy's comment.
Okay. Hold on.
Yeah. Troy's comment is on point,
Because
and
many of our
that's our cousin. He's an educator, so he sees it on the ground. He sees it at ground level.
Yeah.
okay, because many are still looking for their fathers to validate them. Fathers give their children a name and identity. It has to do with kids never being healed from not having their Bible father around. That's deep.
I like that. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, that's
Nah,
deep.
fine. What's
That
good?
makes a lot of great sense.
What's good on JB? What's good on? Thanks for tuning in, my brother. Hey, and just like everybody say, like I tell everybody, my daughter, my daughter is me. And a lot of people, what kills me was like when people say, your daughter looks just like you. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But she ain't that ugly.
That's what I was gonna ask, but I didn't want to offend anybody, but I was gonna ask, does she really look
Hey,
like
D,
that?
D, I'm looking out for you, D.
Do we need
I'm
to see
looking out for
pictures?
you. Woo!
I was
No,
just gonna ask that.
no. My daughter, her father's in her life. They got a good relationship, and I won't want to take nothing from him, because you need but my daughter is my daughter. Like
Hmm.
my son is more like my wife, but my daughter, oh, she got all my ways. Cheap like me. Oh, don't talk as much. But when she gets started, it's hard to calm her down. And to me, the greatest thing that she ever did for me was to let me know that, hey, I love you. She never called me her stepdad. She never introduced me to people as, oh, this is my stepfather or my stepdad. She always said, this is my dad. And that means so much to me. So as I'm gonna say stepfather in this point, when you come into a child's life and you make a difference in that child's life, it comes out later on when they become an adult because they actually saw the sacrifices that you made, and they appreciate you, just like you said your cousin said, because they trying to validate, they're looking for that validation. But like I said before, my daughter, now we look
She
alike.
posted a great comment too.
Yeah, we look alike. We look alike in the way that we act. Now that's my twin because she's just like me. And oh, here it is.
Yeah, that's a good one.
See,
Yeah,
you're making a great point about fathers. I mean,
yeah,
being dad. You know,
yeah,
like why we important. That
yeah,
right there is why we important.
yeah. That's true.
It's why one of the first casts I was on with y'all, I was upset by how we portrayed in media that we're interchangeable. That I mean, like I said, I love my mom, I love my grandmother and my aunt who raised me well, who raised me to be what I am now.
Me too.
But I'd like to think about what it would be like if I had a dad in the house.
Hey man, you got to include your brother, man. You got to include him.
He wasn't there.
Yeah, he wasn't born yet. I would say this.
We was changing his diapers, damn it.
Yeah. I would say this. My father. I never knew my father. I knew his name. I knew about him, but I didn't know him. But I'm gonna say my stepfather, but I call him my dad. My dad, Sam, he came into my life and he actually showed me how to be a man. He shows me the ins and out. When I didn't have that father figure in the household, but once him and my mom got married, I mean, like I tell people this all the time. A lot of people that know me, I didn't get my driver's license until I was 21. Yes, I'm one of those late bloomers. I didn't get my license.
Asked before you got a driver's license.
They had tractors and horses, so you was good back out in the woods. You didn't need no license.
Wow.
He had that horse and buggy. Chuck got asked before he got a goddamn driver's license.
I'm gonna say my wife don't like me to say this, but every girl I talk to had a driver's license. So why I need to drive? They come pick me up. When you got game like I got game, you can do that. But let me finish my thought.
You had Uber before Uber. I got it.
Your wife said she taught you how to drive, my dude.
She ain't taught me. Where that comment at? Oh, what?
You put it up.
Stop them in his tracks.
Hold on. Oh,
it's better than the Flintstone car.
It's better than the Flintstone car.
I swear, you're gonna leave me alone, Jay. You're gonna leave me alone.
I'm gonna tell you like this. My wife taught me how to drive a stick shift, and she did teach me how to drive too. So shout out to Kim Bella Styles. Hey, KBS Hall of Fashion. Yeah, I'm gonna shout her business out. Make sure you go shop with her. But I'll talk about my stepfather Sam. He actually showed me what a man's supposed to do, and hopefully I instill that in my kids. Sometimes it's hard because just like the math professor said, though, you're not your child's friend. We're not friends. I'm gonna tell you the difference of the truth. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm not gonna be like your friends, like, hey, this is that. I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna tell you the actual truth. So Sam, hey, my hat's off to you, man, and I'm gonna give you a call tomorrow and we could chop it up. But
hey, man, Al King did the same thing to me. He always said, "I'm your father, ain't your friend." I got that shit from the time I came out, boy. That's all they ever said. That shit was. I should have put that shit on the wall somewhere. I'm your father, ain't your friend.
Yeah, hey, that's a good T-shirt.
Yeah, hey, you know what? Hey, we should put that on our shirt.
You should have kept that on the low. Somebody about to steal that. Don't steal that.
Yeah, don't steal that. Hey, we got mail it to yourself. Mail it to yourself. But hey, fellas, hey, I just thought that conversation, how we started it and went to TI, it's just a great conversation. But before we move on to
we gotta talk about Michael Irvin first.
Oh, go ahead. What about Michael Irvin? Go ahead, Popo.
His son did that. His son.
I mean, I'm Pharaoh.
His son goes by the rapping name. I forget his rapping name, man. But he back in the trap. And then of course Michael Irvin was in the interview. Wasn't that he was calling his son out? He just like, my son grew up in a gated community. The hell he know about that? So, once again, another
hearing that. I remember hearing that.
Another privileged, kid that wants to live the life that his father got himself out of, and now his son wants to go back. He probably rented the house so he could look like he's in the trap. I don't know.
I'm gonna say this, and I understand what Michael Irvin was saying because he said his son is basically rapping his life, and yes. My thing is this, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong or not. I grew up in a house with roaches. I came up in a house. You probably had a couple of rats. I came up in a time where that had patches on your clothes. Now kids wearing the clothes all ripped up. I don't get it, but hey, I guess that's fashion. I guess I'm old. But
we had that when we was younger.
Yeah. But why? What is it about that you want to live? I will never want to live in a house with roaches or rats. I don't get it. Or live in a rundown house. I remember there were still houses where I was raised at. They had an outdoor. I mean, they had the outdoor bathroom. They didn't have indoor plumbing. They still had the outdoor. They had
Oh.
the water pump on the porch. You had to go pump your water, you know. But why would you want to live like that if you get a chance that your parents is getting you out that type of situation? With that, to me, I guess I'm older now. I just don't see the logic in that way of thinking. Let's go to the mad professor. What do you think about that?
Well, it's because kids want to seem like they're doing more than they had to do to get the success that their parents have, and I quite honestly don't understand it. Now, don't get me wrong. I made my kids earn everything they got. Everything I would give them, I made them earn, because nothing's given to you. Life was given to you, but nothing's given to you, and you need to learn how to. You need to learn how to struggle and to work to get what you want in life, and to make your life easier. And it's an argument my sister and I had before. When her kids was younger, she'd give them things. She and her husband would give them things, and I'm like, why are y'all giving them that? Well, because they asked. That's not a good enough reason for me. It never was. I never got that. And then when the kids got older and was expecting more, that's when the arguments would start, because they didn't feel the need to give them more now. You can't start it and then stop it and expect the dynamic to not change.
Right. Absolutely.
Learn and work for it.
I said that earlier today to somebody. I said, you guys out here, you give your kids everything, and what else, you're making them comfortable. But you have to make them uncomfortable if you want to see them grow.
Right.
If
you learn from failure.
Then they don't understand anything you're trying to teach them. And by age 10, if they don't understand who you are by age 10, you've lost them.
Yeah.
10 is the magic number. I promise you guys.
So so what do you do once you lost? How do you get them back? Will be my next question. How do you get them back after they done been out there and they done got caught up in the street? How do you bring them back into the fold? How would you navigate that avenue of bringing your kids back? Now, I'm not going to say control, but to get them to have a better understanding about what life is really about.
Ask T.I., he'll tell you.
He's still trying to figure it out. Don't ask his ass nothing.
And honestly, that's a question that I don't know the answer to, because somebody say prayer and ass whippings, and honestly, that's the only thing I can come up with, because I've never been in that position, and I've seen what happens when kids are in that position and their parents don't work to get them back, because like me, they wouldn't know how.
There you go. I'm with you, Tim. Professor, I am all on that with you. I don't know. I wouldn't know either, because I didn't allow that to even get out of control.
Right.
It wasn't even an option.
True that statement.
But I guess why I say that, because it's never too late. It's never too late. Your kids could be 30, 40 years old. It's never too late for us to kick knowledge to them, because maybe they're looking towards you to get that knowledge. Maybe they didn't hear you. Just like one of us say this I think it was Poor Boy that said this, and he basically said that, with his dad, he didn't want to hear it at 20, but now he's open to hearing what his dad has to say. So I guess what I'm saying is, it's never too late to have a conversation, or if they're looking for help. So
Well,
I
honestly,
guess
I think most kids turn around when they become parents themselves,
okay.
and they understand the struggle. Because it's what worked. It's what happened with my oldest, and I love him to death, and he knows it. And I tell him all the time when we conversate, I think he's a much better father. He's a much better dad at being dad than I was, because I was learning how to do it. I was learning. It was like being on a job, learning how to do the job.
Yeah,
Right, because you didn't have a blueprint. You had to make your own blueprint. I can see that. But with a man on the street, I would say that it took what, Brian? It took what, 30 years or so plus before you even got to that point. You know what I mean? What can happen within those 30 years if a person is looking for that and you're not readily available to give them any information? They're pretty much fucked up. they're done. Because
Yeah.
they're creatures of habit at that point. So, like I said, it's I would just say you have to go to psychology. I don't know, psychologist. So,
Well,
psychiatrist.
I'm gonna put it a different way. Po boy, I want you to answer this before you forget. The reason why I say that, because we got a lot of young brothers and sisters, and just people in general, young kids in general, that gets out there and they think the street life is the way to go, and then they get into an issue, and they might have got in some trouble, might have did some time, might have did this, might have did that, but once they come out, they're looking for some guidance. Hey, I done been down that road. I done made that mistake. I done did this. I done did that. I done try to be the drug kingpin. That didn't work out. I done try to be the thief. That didn't work out. I done try to do this and do that. But once I got out, now my life is starting to change. And like y'all say, I may be looking, I may not have a kid now, but I'm looking for that change. So what, as men, if somebody was to come to you and say, hey, my life was in the toilet, I'm turning my life around, I'm doing this and that, what advice would you give to that person if they was coming to you and ask you, hey, I need help? Poor boy, what would you say?
What would I say? Man, you got to be ready to put in the work first and foremost. It's not going to be easy. Nothing you do that you really want to succeed at is going to be easy. So if you're not ready to put in the work and believe that you can do the work, because you have to believe it.
Yeah.
And if you can do that, man, you're going to achieve whatever you want. There's nothing stopping you from achieving your success. If you want it and you believe that you can do it, because it's out there. You just have to go get it. And it may not always come the way you want it. It may come from a different direction, and you have to be willing to accept those changes as well, because that's what life is. It's a change. Every day is different, so you never know. So you have to be willing to adjust. It's pretty much what I'd say.
Okay. What about you, Pharaoh?
I would say to piggyback off of what Poor Boy is talking about. What's the energy that this person is bringing when they're asking you this? Are they a person who's actually going to listen to you and actually put some effort into it? Because if not, I'm not even going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste my breath on somebody who's not going to give me the same effort that I'm giving them, and they keep coming back to me and they keep falling into the same, rut. I'm not going to waste my time. But if they do, I'm going to do exactly what Poor Boy said. It's the same thing. Things ain't easy. Was it easy for me? It damn sure ain't going to be easy for you. Probably harder.
Okay. Mad Professor, what you got?
I would just tell them, look, whatever you're trying to leave behind has to stay behind. You can't bring none of what you experienced or none of what you're trying to get away from into what you're trying to get to, because that's just going to make you long for what was rather than what you're trying to get. You can't say, oh, I used to sell, like T.I.'s son, I'm running the streets, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Forget the streets. You got to leave the streets in the streets. I think my mom said that to me one time. Leave the street in the street, because it don't belong in here. And I'm not of the street, so it damn sure don't belong with me. So just leave everything leave everything behind that's gotten you in the trouble you in now. And I'm going to do whatever I can to help you get to where you think you want to be, to where you're going to be, the success you want to be without having to worry about looking over your shoulder. Because that's the one thing about being in the street. Somebody's always behind you. Cops, somebody trying to rob you, or somebody trying to take what you got. Somebody always behind you.
Or trying to replace you if you're successful.
Right.
Yeah. Like they say, the worst place to be is on top. Like I always say, a football reference, like I always tell Pharaoh, who's the best player on the team? The backup quarterback. because with the
punter.
Well, he's the most loved person on the team. The most loved person on the team is the backup quarterback.
It's the backup quarterback, because when the starter's doing bad, put the backup in, and then when he's doing bad, then you go to the punter.
Washington, it's just the punter. It's the quarterback, then the punter.
but like I said before, though, this was just a conversation that I saw that I thought that we need to talk about, because we are black men, we are raising black kids, but it's just not I just don't want to generalize it to just black men in general, because we have fathers out there that
struggle.
we all live in that same type of struggle. But for me, if a person trying to change their life and they come to me with some, I would tell them basically the same thing that y'all said, that, hey man, if you're trying to change your life, you got to leave that whatever you did in the past behind you, because you will always have people try to pull you back. And the hardest thing that you could tell a person that's trying to pull you back into a situation is no, I'm not going that way. You know what I'm saying? Or if y'all together, there's nothing wrong with y'all being friends. But if you see, they say, hey, I'm about to go do this, something should tell you, hey, I done been down that road. Hey, I'm about to go this way. And they're truly your friend, they will understand that, hey, I'm not living that life anymore. So that's just the man on the street. That's just the way I look at things. But before we go ahead, po' boy.
Oh, you poor boy.
What?
I'm saying that we always one decision.
Hold up, Commanders picking people out the stands. God damn, King.
Hey man, hey JJ, you gonna leave me alone, JJ?
Oh,
I might have to go to one of them games then.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, we always one decision away from fucking up our lives. So just be careful what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Hey, shout out to Al King, keeping me straight, even though I felt like I was a bitch.
I was just to piggyback on you on Pharaoh. One mistake that you may have made is not the mistake for the rest of your life. Learn from that mistake. And that's the way I would say, learn from that mistake so you won't make that mistake again. And then if you make it again, hey, you got to get up, brush yourself off, and at least try to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the way I think. So
that's what they keep saying. That's what they say. Making mistakes more one time is a mistake. 2-3 times is a habit.
Yeah. And you got to break, sooner or later, you got to break your habit too, though.
There it is. Hey, well, somebody should have told Sean Kemp after the 12th kid. You know what I'm saying? Shit.
Oh, this joker right
Wow.
there. Okay.
Wow.
Well, that's for another discussion for us to have. But before we go, the Mad Professor, what you got to say to the people?
They say money can't buy you happiness, but it can damn sure get you the time away and the travel away to find that sumbitch.
Hey, you got to expound on that one. Go ahead. Expound on that one.
If you're unhappy and you don't have no money, guess where you got to be tomorrow? Work. You got money, you can take off work and go find your doggone happiness. Whether it's at the bottom of a bottle, somebody's strip club, somebody's brothel, go find your happiness.
I'm with you on that.
Oh goodness. Pharaoh, what you got for the people?
Hey man, Professor, a wild dude, boy. Let me tell you. Hey, I'm going with a Bob Marley quote today. I feel like he's a very inspirational individual. So I'm gonna go with him. True friends are like stars. You can only recognize them when it's dark, when it's dark around you.
Yeah.
True friends are like stars. You got to say it one more time, King. Oh, that is true though. Okay, that was over my head, but I got it now. I got it. That took me a minute.
Outside for a minute. It might.
Yeah, I get it. You might hit me there.
One more time. Let me do it slow.
Do it slow for the people. Hey, hold on before you say it, King.
Hey, for the smokers lounge. For the smokers lounge, I'm gonna say it again.
Yeah, y'all know I was a window licker, right? I was look at Jenkins back licking the window again. Go ahead with it, man.
Hey, that's JJ.
Go ahead, Pharaoh. Say it again.
All right. True friends are like stars. You can only recognize them when it's dark around you.
I got it now. I see. I got you. I got it. What you got for the people, poor boy from the boot?
Okay, well, check this out. See, I gotta go get it.
Oh,
because
good.
it's a poem that I wrote that I wanted to read, but I hadn't transferred it to my phone, so it's still on paper. So
go get it then. Go ahead. I'm gonna take you off. Go get it. Go get it and come back. A great conversation, fellas. Hey, I wish Tim Dolph and B Moore was on here and he could elaborate. He did chime in. I know you're not feeling well, like I said before.
Get better, dude. Get better.
Yeah. And
Probably laying in the bed with an ice pack on or some shit.
yeah, I want to take this time. I want to take this time to send condolences out to one of my classmates. She passed away, not my classmate, but she's under me. She passed away from cancer. She was our high school principal, and she just died from cancer. A young lady, Sanisha Green. I know Sanisha Hawkins now. Hey, I hope your family, condolences from the man on the street and 2 cigars and a blunt. You will be truly missed. She was a bright young lady, and you just hate to see people like that. Just it hit me, man. When I saw it at work, it just kind of hit me because I actually know her. She was a great young lady, and so, but to her family, condolences. I don't want to end on a bad note. I want poor boy to come back once he find on a sad note. It's not really sad because she's not in pain anymore. She's going on to, so.
Well, I'm with you on that one. I want to send out some for my 725 unit that was out in Hawaii. We lost one of our teammates to kidney disease. He had 2 kids, they doing well. We were supposed to do our 725 reunion next April. He was part of one of the spearhead. He was leading up to the reunion, and we lost him at an early age due to kidney disease. So shout out to my man Ray, Manny Manalad. You know what I'm saying? Gonna be very missed.
Okay, all right. You got it, po' boy?
Yeah, I got it. I found it.
You found it? All right, let's hear it. It better be good too.
I gotta go through all this stuff, man.
God damn it.
Man, what is wrong with you?
I do a lot of writing, man.
How long we knew we was gonna be doing this today?
Yes. How long, man? This is every week.
Now I know why my sister's always angry.
Poems in my phone that I gotta transfer off of paper, but this wasn't one of them.
Now I know why my sister's always angry.
Well, why are we waiting for poor boy?
I'm ready. I said I'm ready.
Are you ready? All right, go ahead, man. Go ahead. All right, go ahead, my brother. My bad.
It's called What I Never Had. What I never had was a dad, a father to make me smarter. You don't know what you never had, but most of my friends and family had a dad, someone to guide my way, because if you're not smart, the streets would lead you astray. But I had a mother who did her little street shit when she was younger. She knew how to keep me from the streets, but still make me tougher. And even though I never had a dad, I had real men step up and try to, it's very unedited, try to take care of that. They didn't rob, steal, and kill. They worked 6 days a week to make things real. They gave me lessons that a man needs to know. Same shit I'm gonna do for my kids when they grow. Even though they stepped them in place, they couldn't replace the bond that you have with kids today. What I never had, shit, I don't even know. But I'm gonna be a great dad. That's it, a little unedited.
I got you.
You know.
So basically, to wind this topic up, ladies and gentlemen, hey, if you're a dad, if you're an uncle, if you're whatever, if you're a friend, if you know somebody that needs somebody to talk to, if you see a kid out there struggling, if you see him straying off the path, you could be in that kid's life or that young man or young woman's life. You could do what you need to do. Oh, this joker right here. That joker can't, yeah, that's true. He can't read his own right. Goddamn, Tim dog.
Edited, man. you can't read it all. What are you talking about?
Okay,
wow.
but
unedited.
But like I say, ladies and gentlemen, it's just the fact that men, basically what it boils up, men has to step up and be men. You're not their friend, but if you see a kid or a woman or a man or a young man going the wrong way, pick them up. Hey, talk to them because you never know who's listening. The person that you're talking to may not listen to you, but it might be a person beside them that's tuning in and they want that knowledge as well.
Whoever needs to hear it, gonna hear it.
Whoever, you got that right. You got that right. But before we go, I saw this for us to get a good laugh. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this. I got to make sure I get the right one.
die.
I thought we needed a good laugh. I thought we
Pretty
needed.
much.
That's a classic.
That's why I don't play with people.
That's a classic. That's why you don't get this rap contest.
That's why you don't play with people. Hey, I like to thank I like to thank everybody for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you go to Two Cigars and Blunt on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And like I always say, we want constructive criticism. Okay, constructive criticism. Don't tell us that we suck. But if you're not telling us how we could get better, you're not doing us a good service. Okay, so make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tune in next Wednesday at 8:00. We're gonna have another great topic. We didn't get to our second topic, so we're gonna use that next week.
So
yeah. But like I always say, I'm the man on the street.
I'm the mad professor in the boot.
Poor boy from the boot, but
And that Pharaoh King.
look like a boot.
You look like a yeah. Okay, but let's do it one more time. I'm the man on the street.
Pharaoh King.
The mad professor from the boot.
Poor boy from the boot, but I ain't in the boot.
That's right. And we are Two Cigars and a Blunt. And we'll see you when we see you. We out. Peace.